We finally arrived at the final section that we will be looking at this semester, and that's statistics. So both homework 11 and 12 deal with statistics. Statistics is the gathering, organizing, and sometimes extrapolating and inferring about populations based on samples. So a population is an entire group of people. When we talk about a population, its characteristics, we call its characteristics parameters. We take a portion of that population and we call that portion a sample. And the information or characteristics of that sample are called statistics. So we use statistics to help us understand things about the population. So we may poll people, survey people, that's what a poll is. We may poll them directly, stand on the street corner and ask them questions, go into their homes or offices or classrooms or whatever, and give them surveys to fill out. We can have people call in to a radio station, all kinds of ways we create our sample. We can also do experiments, that sort of thing. In this class we're going to be talking mostly about the survey kinds of things. We get a survey, who we want to vote for. We ask a sample, and from that we infer what the population will vote like come election day. Okay, we have several techniques for finding our samples, and we're going to start with the most reliable, which is called a random selection technique. In a random survey, every member of the population has an equal probability of being chosen. So in a case like that, some examples might be, we write everybody's name on a hat, shake it up, and randomly pull one out. We might pick shuffled cards from a deck. We might roll a die, or more than one, which are dice. We may do something like the lottery balls. And when they do the lottery balls, they make sure that everyone weighs exactly the same as the others, so that lottery ball number 1 weighs exactly the same as lottery ball number 45. They just put more paint on the 1 to make it as heavy as the one with the paint of the 48, so even the little painted numbers all weigh the same, so they have an equal chance. It's a random sample. A systematic sample is when a pattern is used. So, pattern being used, for example, if I wanted to select a random sample of people coming out of the movie theater to see what they thought, I wouldn't want to necessarily get friends, because friends might be more likely to think alike than complete strangers. So I might choose every 7th person leaving the theater. And that's going to help take care of the clusters of people there, the groups of people hanging together, the friends. So I'm going to be less likely to get the friends because they're more likely to think alike. I might do the same thing, every fifth person entering the store and get them to try something, give me an opinion on something, give them a coupon, see if they use it, that kind of thing. I can actually use any pattern. It doesn't have to be every seventh, every fifth. I could say every fourth, then sixth, then fourth, then sixth, so on. In that case, if somebody saw me selecting people and wanted to avoid being selected or wanted to be selected, they couldn't figure out the pattern. They might see me pick the fourth, and so they push somebody out of the way or let somebody in front of them, and thinking that the fourth one's going to be the next one selected, but it's the sixth. But it can be any pattern. The simplest are just one number. So any pattern is systematic. You have a system for determining who to pick. Stratified sampling is the next type, and in that type, members of the population are grouped on some feature, or by some feature, I should say. Some feature. And samples are taken from each group. So there are many different kinds of things I might do. Gender. So I might have a group of males and females, and then I take a sample from the females and a sample from the males. I could do this by race. I could do this by age range. So I could get a group, a sample from all the people from 10 to 19. I could get another sample from all the people that are 20 to 29, and another from 30 to 39, and so on. I could do it by something like college major. Get those people together. Stratified. Cluster sampling. That's when a subset of the population is selected to represent the population. So, for example, I might choose 3 of the 30 Math 120 classes and just survey everybody in those 3 classes and think of them as representative of the 30 different Math 120 classes. You can see problems with all of these where there might be what we call bias. Bias is when we're not random, when there is a tendency for there to be a slant in one direction or another. So, for example, if I picked your class, there is only 1 or 2 distance ed classes out of this 30. So to choose you all, the random sample, depending on what I'm measuring or surveying, distance ed students may think differently. Or if I were to pick 2 of the classes from the downtown campus and 1 from the Parham Road campus, that wouldn't seem appropriate because perhaps downtown campus students would answer differently on the survey than Parham Road campus students. Maybe not, depending on what we're asking. Okay, so you might do something like that. Well, you might choose 4 blocks of houses in the fan area. You'll know the fan area. And I might knock on the doors on those 4 streets or 4 blocks and get their answers instead of randomly going through the entire fan and grabbing a house here and there. So I may let those blocks represent the entire group. The last kind, and really the worst kind, the one that's most likely to have the most bias, is either what's available, sometimes availability is limited, what's fast, easy, or cheap. Right? Examples might be something like dinosaur bones. If I want to know the average length of dinosaur bones in a certain area, well, I'm going to have to take which ones I can find. I'm going to take every one I can dig up. There's just so many I can find. Something that would be easy, I hear something on the news, I want to know what people around here think, so I just ask my friends, or my neighbors, or my classmates, or colleagues. Because they're easy. Quick and easy. I might ask the first 30 people that walk in the door. That's easy. Or I might have, like a radio station might do, or a television show or something, where the members are self-selecting, like on a radio station. Radio call-in survey. So if something's about to happen, or some decision has been made, or some new law or something, and we ask those people to call into the radio station and tell me what you think, it's not going to be very random, because who are the people who are going to call in? People really excited about the thing, or the people who are really upset? Those who are blah, so, they're not going to be the ones calling in. So the convenience is the least random. It's the one that introduces the most bias. The next section we will look at actually counting members in our sample.